episode 4 of our Geodesic Treehouse project. So today we're going to talk about how we're going to get up to the treehouse and what's the roof going to be like. So those two questions really occupied my mind for about 4 months. Let's start with the first one. So how we're going to get up to the treehouse. Right now it's a ladder, not really convenient, and it is the base is 16 feet high off the ground, so it's quite high. So there were a few options thinking about how to get up there. First one, actually proposed by the architect that I had to hire for the permitting process, was to put a regular staircase in, rectangular, just a set of stairs with a little platform in the middle, straight up. And I really did not like that idea. It's just what I would call disrupting the flow of the treehouse with a single tree trunk, with the dome on the top, and having some obstacle in the way. I just didn't like that. So option 2 would have been something like a spiral staircase around the trunk. And while I aesthetically really like that idea, as you know, we've already have 8 tree attachment bolts in the tree, 4 on the top and then 4 for the knee braces. So I didn't want to just add more holes and drill more holes to the tree. Don't want to damage it too much. That was the first problem. And the second problem would have been going around the struts. Knee brace structure is basically where you somehow have to get around it when you get up. So I decided that's also not a good option. So what I was left with was really a structure like a suspension bridge. So I looked around, and there's a couple of trees that aren't too far away, so about 27 feet away. There was a couple of trees that are thick enough and that kind of fit where I felt it wouldn't be too disruptive. Also, it went up a little hill, so in essence I would decrease the height differential either from a lower platform to the higher treehouse and or from a staircase up to the platform. So if the whole thing is a little up the hill, that kind of decreases the amount of height that I have to deal with. So yeah, that was sort of the solution. For the platform, I actually copied that from a place that's called Wild Play here in our area. They have some outdoor climbing parks where they also have like these platforms around the trees where in essence you're going to choke the tree trunk and create a platform. For me that wasn't stable enough, so I added 1 tree attachment bolt with a knee brace to the tree to just stabilize the platform. I had contacted the guys from the tree attachment bolt company and said, hey, I have like a 20-inch diameter tree. Can you use the tab? And they said they've even used a 12-inch diameter tree before, so I felt it was good enough. So I built the platform, and then I think it's about 10 feet high, so I had to go from 10 feet to 16 feet, but it was basically the 10 feet was a little higher, so the height differential was actually less. I did choose stainless steel cables, 1/4 inch thick, I think, with a strength, I think it was 6,000 pounds per cable, and actually 4, so you have basically 24,000 pounds breaking strength, and I think a working strength of 6,000 pounds. That's good enough for my little suspension bridge. And I researched online quite a while to find some designs where I could use just standard lumber, 2x4s, 4x4s, and just planks, regular planks for decking. And I found this sample across the river, way longer than my 25 feet bridge, and I basically copied that. It was very steady, and that was basically the design I went with to cover the 25 feet. And then worked myself along.
today.
What's it called?
Galliano. It's called Beacon Bridge.
Show us around.
Alright. This is it. And the other way.
Okay.
Bye.
And then built the respective staircase up to the platform. So with 2x12s, custom cuts. There's I'll probably post another video with instructions how you can measure and figure out your custom cut stairs. It was actually quite straightforward. And so that was the stairs. Now thinking about the roof. So since we have all these triangles and a lot of sides and corners, you know, I'm not a professional roofer, and you would need all this flashing everywhere, and in places where you really don't know if the water is actually going down or not. So I thought regular roofing with shingles would not work for the treehouse. Then the other option, and I'm still thinking this is the best option, is fiberglass. Fiberglass you can add, you know, you can only have like a 3/8 plywood sheathing, and it would even add structural support to your roof, but considering the location and considering all the climbing involved and, you know, all the batches that you have to prepare with the resin, that only has a shelf life of like 20 minutes. That's just not feasible. Like, and then you have large wastage, like with brushes, with rollers, with buckets. Just not feasible for this project. If I had a boom lift and unlimited time and weather guarantee forever, I would probably still go with that option. But I decided that I would actually go with something called liquid rubber. So I'll put a link as well below. Liquid rubber is a system where you basically have something you can roll on. It's water-based, and it comes with seam tapes of different widths. So the seam tape is flexible as well. It's quite expensive, but I think that's how we're going to build the roof, and I'll probably have that in part 5 or part 6 showing how that's going to work. But those basically were the problems I wanted to solve. Took me a long time, just to the ideation, and then the execution probably almost a year for that. But here we are now. Part 4 is done, and if you like what I do, please subscribe, and see you in the next part. Thanks.
You done?